the Constitution. We're a 25-year-old organization that was started by two lawyers who graduated from Maryland Law with a degree in constitutional law. And they were sitting down at dinner after graduation and realized, you know what? We have these sheepskins that say we're constitutional experts, and not once did we read the Constitution in class or for homework. They did a little research and found out that that's the case in almost every law school in the country, including Columbia, Yale, Harvard, all the biggest. There's only a few colleges that actually teach the Constitution. Hillsdale was one of them. That's where I got my start. I took their free online course when Rush Limbaugh was pushing it. I took their Constitution 101 and Constitution 201 and their economics course. Great courses, great school. And well, I thought I knew what I was talking about at that point. I had actually read the Constitution myself and took those courses. Michael Peruka, the founder of the Institute on the Constitution, was going to be at Yoder's Farm. And somebody invited me in. I said, okay, great. This is a chance for me to show my stuff, right? Because I was starting to do little meetings at my church in the basement. Nobody was showing up, but I was doing them anyway. And I had this whole spiel, connecting the Constitution to the Bible, blah, 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 right? Well, I go into the Yoder's Farm, and Michael's about to go on stage. I pull my paperwork out, and I'm going to be the first one to ask the question. Right? He got up, and about 2 minutes into his speech, or his presentation, I took my paper and folded it up, put it in my back pocket, and said, oh my God, I've got to take this guy's course. So I did. I signed up for the course. It was $150. I didn't have $150, so I took my electric bill money and paid the bill and worried about the electric later. I was late for class every week because I was in construction at the time doing remodeling. And I believe this class started at 6 and I eat dinner at 5, so by the time I get the shower and all that, I was late. Well, I didn't do the homework and I was late every week. So I decided, well, I've got to take the gas, right? So I signed up for the next one for $125 because I already had one there. And the funny part was that even though I was late and didn't do the homework, every night at the lectures I had an epiphany. Something I had never heard of or even thought of, but I thought I knew the Constitution. I can only imagine the people that had no idea before they got there. Second time around, same thing. So I signed up to take it the third time. Michael gave me a discount this time, $75. Right? Which I don't blame him. He was coming from over, the other side of the world across the Bay Bridge. And third time through, I was taking notes, but I wasn't taking notes about what he was saying. I was taking notes about how he was saying it, the stories he was telling in between things, and where they fit. Because I knew that I had to share this with people together. So I became an instructor for the organization, which pays absolutely nothing. In fact, it costs whatever it costs to put on the classes. And I started doing classes mostly in Sussex County. Every now and then I'd get a class together up in Newcastle County. And eventually I got one in Kent County. And the next thing I know, they're calling me and saying, Larry, you realize you've graduated 500 people in Sussex County? I said, no, I knew I had a lot of classes and graduated a lot of folks, but I had no idea it was happening. And then they made me Delaware chapter leader, and I did that for a while. I got on the board somehow. Somebody nominated me to be on the board. Next thing I know, they're making me vice president, which meant I could run the Zoom if the president wasn't there. That was my job, my own job. But I had a title, right? I could make cards. So of course I got 1,000 cards for $25 staples. And about 6 months later, they offered me a position to to take control of the orders, get the inventory and bring it to my place and fill the orders and ship them and all that, because I had some experience in that when I was young. So I did that. They offered me a salary that was more than they could afford, so I told them no, I don't want that much. I only need X, right? And I go and I get the stuff from Minnesota and I bring it home and I realize, man, this stuff, I got a little mobile home. Okay, you know the middle bedroom in a 1970-something mobile home, one that's smaller than the bathroom. That's my office, right? And it's shelving everywhere. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I went down around the corner, rented a storage unit. Oh, and we were in the middle of the 4th of July sale. And orders were coming out left and right. So I start filling orders, and by 10 o'clock I can't be in the storage unit anymore because I'm dripping wet and I'm getting sweat on the paperwork and on packages. And so I started working from 6 in the morning until about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then got home and do an office work. Well, I get finished the 4th of July, I say, I want to process the last order, and I'm sitting on my back deck having a nice cold beer, looking at the pond, and the president of the organization calls me and says, hey Larry, how you doing? I told him, I just finished the last order, I can take a break. He said, oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. He said, by the way, I just want to let you know, the next board meeting, I'm going to retire from being the president, and I'm nominating you to take my place. I looked up and got it. I said, Lord, if this is your will, I'm willing. But you better let me grab onto your hand and just drag me where I need to go. And I said, okay, Jake, you realize that it's Thursday and the board meeting is tomorrow. And he said, yeah, no problem. You're ready. Okay. So that's how I got to be president of the Institute on the Constitution. We teach the Constitution, the duty of the jury, the sheriff and the citizen, the true history of America's founding, the Maryland Constitution and the Delaware Constitution. I wrote the Delaware Constitution course, so I know it. I know what it says. Over the last 6 months ago, I realized, wow, 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence is coming up, and I've never seen a course on it. Because it's so short, why would anybody write a course on it, right? I mean, our U.S. Constitution course is 12 weeks, 2 hours a week. So I said, I'm going to write a mini course on the Declaration of Independence. So I started. The first one was 4 lectures long, probably 3 nights. I could do it, maybe 4. That's too long, right? So I finally get it down to 3 lectures. And all of a sudden, I realized it's almost 4th of July. I've got to get this thing out there. So last Saturday, I did a beta test over at a shop. And I had people come down from Saratoga Springs in New York, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Newark, Delaware, and I forget the name of the town, a little town in Western Maryland. And the room was full. Couldn't fit another person in there in a chair. They had to stand up. And I gave the presentation, and I knew it was pretty decent, but the response I got was incredible. And these people were all very knowledgeable about, some of them had taken our Constitution course, and a couple of them knew stuff I didn't know about the Bible and all this kind of stuff. We got done, a bunch of us went out to the diner afterwards and started talking to each other. And one guy said to me, and he was one of the guys from New York, he said, Larry, he says, I've been to a lot of classes. He says, usually my expectations are here, and when the class is over, I put it back here. It's good, but it's kind of lacking in this or that. My expectations coming to this class were right here, a little lower than usual because it was a one-day class. And he said, the result is here. But this is really cool. So, Kristen and I this morning, oh, by the way, class was from 3 to 6 yesterday, Saturday. I finished the PowerPoint at 11 o'clock Saturday. And from 11 till 2, I was printing up parts of the student manual so that people had something to look at while I was doing the presentation. So that's how last minute everything is. This morning, Kristen and I actually got it on the website as a digital download, the full manual, and PowerPoints for the host kit. And we're selling the student kit for $17.76. I wonder how I came up with that. So if it's something you'd be interested in, which I think you would, go to our website, which is theamericanview.com, and look for USA 250. That's the easiest way to find it.
And it's in their email link.
Oh yeah,
that you got.
and tonight, if you would, I'll run out when I'm done talking and get a sign-up sheet so I can get everybody's email and get you on the email list. I'm going to put flyers up here and my business card. That's my cell phone number on my business card. Feel free to call me. I usually have one. And if I can't answer, I won't. Leave a message and I'll get back to you. I really love what I'm doing. I work generally, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I retired from the remodeling business 6 months before I became president. I bought a boat so I can go out fishing all the time. I just sold the boat this spring because I went out 3 times last year. I figured I can rent one cheaper than, boat is actually an acronym for breakout in 1,000. Yeah, it's true. So I enjoy what I'm doing so much that I put in about 80 hours a week now. I'm up at 5 every morning without an alarm. I go to bed at 9 unless I'm in a meeting or something like that. So if I start to doze off here in the chair, you'll understand why. I encourage you to go to our website, theamericanview.com, and one other thing I'll say is we rely 100% on donations for everything we do. So if you like what we're doing, pray about it. God leads you to help us with whatever you want to. I don't care if you don't have it to help us. Don't worry about it. Come and learn all you can. You can help us that way. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next president of the Institute on Ice. Because I'm 70 and I'm not going to be there forever. I want to thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. Like I said, in 2 weeks, there's a date on one of these. July 12th, on Saturdays, from 3 to 6, I'm going to be doing the Delaware State Constitution course, 6 weeks long, runs into August 16th, I believe it is. You'll make a day of it, man. Come over to the beach, enjoy the beach till around New Year 1. Come to class at 3. You can be in your bathing suit, your cover up, we don't care. Unless you're really built, and then you might be a distraction to some of the students. And then, at 6, we're done at 6, so go find yourself some good food. There's plenty of good restaurants on the road in the Lewis area, or you can hit Georgetown on your way home, since you're all out here. So that's
Where's the class?
It's at Best Shot. And if you don't like the beach,